Those vatos were trying to target your familia cricket is what I heard. Yeah, bro. That's what happened. How'd you hear? Well, you heard that, huh? I guess I should just go ahead and tell my damn story, what happened. So check it out. I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna do that. So we get set up by Dreamer. Dreamer, when he calls the meeting and we're in the hotel room, I had just got out from beating my case, the gun case. So so I ended up uh, going to the meeting. What's crazy was I shouldn't even have gone. I got out of Cricket Floater was my celly in Madison for a year. He was a feeder vato. We became good friends. Much respects to his little carnal. Yeah. Um. So I get out of beating this case. No one even knows except for Chino. He's the one that picks me up from the county. When I get out, I go and I'm living with him at his rucas in Casa Grande. My ruca was already there living with his ruca. They were really close friends. Both of them were pregnant. Nah, that's not. I'm gonna tell the story, but that's probably what they said. I wasn't facing life though, but I was facing the death penalty at the time. But probably was that story that they gave about me, Charlie Hustle. That's probably the story they threw out there. So um, I go when I get out. My ruca's pregnant. Chino's ruca's pregnant. They were there together. You know what I'm saying? They were living together. So when I get out, I go there. When I go to Casa Grande with Chino, that fool had that little town on lock. Um, but I'm just getting out. So when I get there, I'm playing. I was playing. I remember I was in his house and I'm playing that. It had just come out not long before that, the Grand Theft Auto shit, right? And I go with him around this little town, and he's running Casa Grande like it's a pinta, bro. Some vato had stole some girl's necklace. He ends up finding the vato, takes the necklace back, takes it to the girl. The girl pays him, and I'm like, damn, fool, you got this whole place on lock, right? And so he has the whole town slanging vidrio for him, everything. He's doing good. I can't stay up like him. He's doing that vidrio shit. I'm fresh out. I need to, but when he goes out, he's, doing his thing. So about, I think it's the next morning after I got out, we're in the car driving. Big Casper calls Chino and he tells him, hey, bro, this weekend, which was like a day later, 2 days later, it's like we're going to have a mandatory meeting at the Embassy Suites on the freeway in Greenway. So Chino's like, all right, bro, da, 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 and he hangs up. And I was like, who was that, bro? And he's like, it was Casper. I was like, why didn't you tell him I was here, bro? He's like, I don't know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So he tells me about the meeting. I go, I'm going to go. He goes, nah, bro, don't go. Just kick it. So I'll answer questions after let me tell this story, right? Um, so uh, I tell him I'm gonna go to me. He's like, nah, just kick it, fool. Like, you don't need to go. I go, nah, nah, nah. Call Casper back. So he calls him. I get on the home. I'm like, what's up, fool? He's like, hey, what's up, bro? Like, what are you doing today? He thinks I'm still in the county. He don't know I beat the charge yet. He thinks Chino just called him on three-way for me like I was doing before, just a few days before while I was still in county. And I'm like, I'm right here with Chino. He's like, what do you mean you're right here? I go, I'm in the car, fool. I beat that shit. I got found not guilty. He's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. I was like, Chino was it because Chino came to my trial and everything, sent my clothes with me, right? And I'm like, all right. So I'm like, yeah, brother, if I got found not guilty, the cop lied, bro. They caught him lying. The jury found me not guilty. He's like, damn. I was like, so I go, what's up, bro? When's the meeting? He's like, nah, you don't gotta come, bro. You kick back. And I'm like, no, 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 I'm gonna go, bro. And he's like, man, you're just fresh out, but just do your, get your shit together. I go, no, 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 I'm gonna be there, bro. So the meeting happens. While we're there, Dreamer looks at me and is like, bro, Grillo, you can't be out here acting like a cowboy like you and Sinner were last time. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, you guys were fucking just killing people left and right. And I'm like, nah, bro. No, we weren't. That's fucking Sinner. That's not me, bro. Like, what are you talking? Like, who are you talking about? So now I feel like I have to justify myself. This brother's a lieutenant. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, well, what about this? But he starts naming names, and so I'm like, well, no, that was Sinner. This, and this happened. Well, what about this guy? Go, well, him we did, but we were justified. It was because this, and that. So we go down the line. The ones that he knows are justified, like Garfield, he can't question, but he brings it up anyway. He's like, "What's up with He goes, "How the hell did you guys get Garfield? But what happened?" You know? So me and Chino start rapping like we're telling him, and like we're just talking. Turns out he was working with the feds. There's cameras all in the room, right? So then we all decide too that we're gonna continue, like what's next. So we talk about the murders that needed to happen after that, who we were gonna get, and then Dreamer at the end says, "Hey, I got these paisas that have got this cocaine, and we got to do this and this, the whole deal, right?" So when we meet back over there a couple days later, we get this cocaine and we move it. It turns out it's all the feds' cocaine, right? Dreamer set us up with all that. So they arrest us. I'm only out 11 days. I get arrested. They kick me the door in on La Quinta Inn on, I think it's 19th and Thomas or something, right? There was a La Quinta on the corner and I think a Comfort across the street. We had rooms at both hotels. We're in the room. They kick in the door. They get us. Me, Tyson, and Chino are in that room. And Maruka and two other broads are there too, right? So they arrest us. Chino has a quarter pound of vidrio in his pocket. So they take him to CCA. Me and Tyson, we don't have nothing on us. They just got us on violations. We go back to Alhambra. And they shoot me out to Yuma. We still don't know nothing about Dreamer setting us up. So when I'm in Yuma, Chino's Ruka writes me and says, "Hey, they arrested your girl. We went into town to get clothes, this and that." So my girl got arrested, right? They charged her in our case. So I'm like, okay. I get pissed off, and I go to the SSU office. I'm like, "Hey, you talk to the task force?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "Call them fools, man. Tell them I never made shit personal with them. Why are they making this shit personal?" And so he's like, "All right, whatever." He calls me back and says, "Hey, they said they're going to be here to see you next Wednesday." I'm like, "Okay." So that Wednesday comes, they don't come. Wednesday after that, they pull me out. So I go out there. They have a new indictment. They hand it to me and they say, "As you can see, the person that's not in that indictment was working with us." So I look at it. Dreamer's not on the indictment. So I said, "Well, how's Dreamer doing?" The food told me, "Oh, he's doing great, sipping piña coladas." I was like, "All right." So then they try to start showing me the videos of me talking about the murders. And I'm like, "I don't want to see that. I don't care, man. I'm done here." And I look back at the SSU block. I go, "We done here?" And he shrugs his shoulders and points at them, like when they say. I'm like, "Nah, it's when I say I'm done. I'm out of here." So I stand up, and they're like, "Well, we got to talk about your custody. You can't be on this yard, this and that." So whatever, they lock me down. Uh, they put me in the CDU of Dakota, and then the next morning, not Dakota, Dakota, yeah, right, Yuma, Dakota, because I was on Cheyenne. They put me in CDU in Dakota though. 40 was there. I was with Simple. Simple was right across from me when I get to the hole. Me and him are talking through sign language, and I'm telling him, "Dreamer set us up. I just saw the indictment and shit, right?" So the like 3 hours later, it's like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. Two sergeants, they roll me up, they drive me to SMU, they put me in VCU, which is called, for those that don't know, it's called Violent Control Unit in SMU. They put me in there, and that's where I finish up my little time that I have left on my violation. Right, I'm only back on a violation, but I know now that I've been indicted. That I got this indictment. So when I get released, uh, you know, 3 weeks, 4 weeks later, whatever it was, they're there to pick me up. They take me back to Madison, and that's when it turns out they're going to house us all in Madison because they don't want to hold us in CCA. So I get to Madison, and they put me in a regular pod somewhere, not up in the 6th floor, obviously, but that's where I start out. Luis Cisneros is across from me in another pod. There was different people there. So yeah, JT Phoenix. So then I end up going. I'm like, all right, well, we're there, whatever, I'm here. So then I hear they brought Chino back from CCA, they brought Sinner back from CCA, and we're all there now, right? And we're in different pods. And then one day they say, okay, roll your shit up. And they move us all together they put us in 6-1, 6-2, 6-3. In 6-3, I think it was. And if you guys remember, on 6th floor, we had 6-1 and 6-2. And 6-3 was actually PC. Well, they put us over there because they thought that way we wouldn't send information to nobody. They gave us our own pod. They didn't house us with them vatos. But the other 3 pods were all PC vatos. And at that time, Freddie Garcia's up there. Jaime Sanchez is up there. That vato from Garfield, Carlos Velez is up there. So we're in our own pod, though. But they did that. And then the 5th floor, right under us, they emptied that pot out so that we couldn't talk to them either or have them send us anything, right? So now we're all here, but they still haven't brought the brothers back from New Mexico. So at this time, it's me, Mean Gene, Chino, Big Casper, Tyson, Night Owl. If you're talking about Night Owl you're talking about Night Owl from the Meat Boss, that Luis Pesina dude. He was there, but they didn't put him in the pod with us. Matter of fact, they made fun of him because they said he rolled his stuff up like he thought he was going over there with us. But anyway, so it's Big Cheapas, Little Cheapas, Mean Gene, Tyson, me, Chino, Big Casper, a dude named also he was in a Carnal, Rory Palma. He was from La Victoria. He's up there with. They put Luis. Oh no, Luis ain't that back yet. They put, who else was that? I can't remember. Anyway, so we're all in that pot, right? A couple weeks later or a couple months later, whatever it was, they end up dropping all charges in New Mexico against Pablo, Crow, Indio, and the Cisnero brothers, and a couple other fools, Richie Rich and them dudes. They dropped the charges over there and brought them back up in Arizona. No, Bird wasn't part of that. So they bring them back from New Mexico. First time in history they said it's happened where they dismissed all charges in one district where the actual crime happened and brought them up in another. They dropped them in New Mexico and brought them up in Arizona, and the crime didn't even happen in Arizona. But they said New Mexico was scared. The judge put plexiglass in front of the jury box. She changed the locks on her courthouse. The prosecutors are running around with guns. So their lawyers were fighting and saying, hey, this is all prejudicial to our clients. You're making them look like real bad guys in front of these, in front of the jury going to come in and there's bulletproof glass. What are they going to think? And the judges up there with bulletproof glass too, like it was crazy. So they ended up dismissing all charges, bringing them over here because they said there was more security in Arizona. So here they come. Indio, first, he appealed. So they only bring Pablo, Crow, Luis Cisneros, Felipe Cisneros, his brother. That was it, I think, at that time. Richie Rich came up in there too, but I don't remember if he came at that time or not, but that happened, right? So they get there. I'm downstairs at that time. I remember I'm watching them come up. They're going upstairs. Boom, they put them up there. They bring, and we're like, where's Indio? And this and that. He's like, oh, he appealed, so he's stuck over there. He'll probably be here in like another month, 30 days or so. So we're like, all right, we're there. Now everything's good. We're all in there together. Everybody, it's 15 cells in this pod, and every cell has a carnal in it or a vato that was also he was Skina, but he was caught up with us. So were there. Um, uh, then Indio ends up coming. So now everybody's there together, right? This is the deal. They every like 2 weeks they would hit us. The goon squad would come in hard with their whole little outfits and their little cuetes and shit coming in. And every time they would move us cells, right? They'd put us in the day room, cuffed up in our boxers to the tables. They'd search all our shit. And when we come back, our shit would be in a different cell. And so we kept getting moved around. So at the time, when everything towards the end of me, I'm next door to Pablo. I'm in the corner cell. Pablo's next door to me. Next door to him, I think is Sinner or Vinny, not sure, can't remember. But anyway, Pablo's next door to me. I get called. I don't know how far into it. I end up getting called for a visit. They said, yeah, the Ninja Turtles. I ended up getting called for they said I had a legal visit, right? My lawyer didn't tell me it was coming, but whatever. They put the belly in there. They didn't use chains in Madison. They used to use it was like a leather belt. You had a loop, and then they the cuffs. So they put that on us. The problem that what they started using on just us in that pod was they would put that electric shock belt on us, and they would put our shackles on our feet, and they would also tether it with like a leash. You know what I'm saying? So that's how they would take us to visit. So when I come out and then I'm going downstairs supposedly for this legal visit, they stop on I can't remember the floor now, but it's the floor where medical's at, kind of, right? So I'm like, what the fuck? This ain't the visit. They walk me to this room, and when they open it, it's the feds, right? It's the task force for the Emmy. And I'm like, oh man, no, I ain't got nothing to say to you, vatos. This and then they're like, just wait. They even brought me a burrito from Filiberto's, bro. Chorizo, I don't know what kind. I wouldn't accept it. I'm like, I don't want that shit. They threw it in the trash in front of me, like, trying to show me whatever, right? But I wouldn't accept it. I'm telling them I don't want to rap to you, vatos. They're like, well, just sit down and listen. So they pull out a huila, and this is where it gets into what Roboto says. I don't know how. Yeah, I mean, someone probably ended up telling the truth. Besides that, I was just weak and broke weak because I'm facing fucking life or whatever the fuck was said. By this time, bro, I'm fighting my case, bro. We think we could beat it because I'm gonna say this is my thing. Obviously we probably weren't. But I was going to say, man, I was lying about all that murder. I just wanted to show off to these fools. So I'm admitting to this shit. But they had no DNA. They had no witnesses. They had nothing on me. All they had was me admitting to it to Dreamer on camera, which I guess is good enough. But I didn't give specifics. You know what I mean? I'm just admitting shit. So I was gonna say, fuck, man. These are carnales, these are my brothers, whatever. I just wanted to look like I was a big bad killer like the rest of them. You know, I don't know. I didn't do none of that shit. That's gonna be my defense. Now remember, I'll tell you in a minute. So I go in there. They got a huila. For those that don't know what that means, it's a letter that was written where Pablo wrote, and he's telling someone on the huila that Maruka was the weak link in the case and may need to be taken out. So I read it, and I still I tell the FIP, I don't got nothing to say to you about this. Me and Pablo are close at this time, right? I'm not tripping. I'm like, this has got to be a mistake. So when I get back up there, remember I told you Pablo's next door to me. I tell him, I get on the floor, like you lay it on the floor and you could talk real good without everybody listening. I knock on the wall and I say, hey, carnal, you know who that was that came visit me? He's like, who? I told him it was Bert and Ernie. That's what we used to call the two main dudes for this task force, right? There was Mike Maya and Armando Salate. Those were the two main dudes. We called them Bert and Ernie. That was between us. And he was like, what the fucking marranos want? And I said, bro, they showed me a huila that you wrote about Joanne, which was my girl, right? And everybody knew Maruka. I met her through Margie, which was Longo's girl. She was Margie's niece. And, everybody knew her. Like, she used to do three ways for everybody. When I was in the county, she took care of the business. Whatever I needed her to do, she handled. Mostly the three ways thing. Margie had all these lines, and all the counties were in touch with each other, and they would put them on speakers so we could talk to different towers and talk to Durango and talk, all these different shits, right? And Maruka was all in the mix because that was her niece. So when I tell Pablo, and he's like, he stays quiet for a second. He's like, I'll come out for my whole hour. I come out for my hour next, bro. I'll rap with you. I said, orale. So when he comes out for his hour, why he kill Baby G on the streets of Beatrice to war? I don't know, JT. So when damn, I lost my train of thought. Where am I at? So when I tell Pablo that I read the wheel out, he tells me he's gonna be out for his hour, right? So when he comes out, the first thing he does is he puts his arm up and he points at the patch, right? He has it right here the way Chopper has it. Some of you guys have seen it. A lot of carnales would put it. That's where they put it. That's where he had his. And he goes, this comes first, right? And I said, absolutely, I know that. I said, but brother, I don't have a right to have some type of say in this. I don't have a vote. I don't have nothing. Like, what's up? And I'm like, what is she doing? Like, there's nothing that she don't know nothing about nobody, carnal. All she knows is me. And I had already told her, flip on me, babe. Do your thing. Dreamer already got me. It's all on video. I'm not gonna let my girl who's pregnant go down too. Tell on me. I'm through. They got me. I'm not beating this. I'm wishful, I hope. But hey, do you, right? That's what I told Maruka. The same thing that Luis Cisneros told Lorena. And they told Lorena that she could tell on him. Right? So why can't I? That's what I'm thinking. So that's what I did. So then that's when Pablo tells me, the mirror, he's in the window, he's like, hey bro, we can't let her tell like that. And I'm like, wait, carnal, why wasn't this brought to me? I'm the one who told her to do that. It just I could tell her not to do that. What the fuck? Like, what's up? She had a firme lawyer, bro. They had put her with, there was a lawyer named Pat Guitry she beat that big Hell's Angel case. Like, she's a good lawyer. So she was pretty much good anyway. But, still, I'm not going to take no chances. Tell on me. I'm through. They got me. So Pablo tells me, so after he points at that and all that, he was like, I'm going to do so we get the 3 walks, right? Yeah, JT, it's a trip. So I ended up being like, okay, well, he was like, he's like, I'm gonna take a shower. I'll be back in rap. Orale. He goes downstairs. I can hear him. He's down there talking to Cuervo. I ain't tripping. I'm just like, man, this is fucked up. So then he showers. He logs down for his first walk, and he comes back out, right? And he goes, hey, carnal, watch out. Tell her not to do that, and it's a dead issue. We're not gonna do that shit. I'm still upset. I'm still like, damn, bro. Why wouldn't you at least like ask me, hey, bro, what do you think about this? You think this is the right thing to, something, anything. But anyway, that's what he did at that time. So when he tells me it's not gonna happen, it's all good. I'm like, okay, feed me. I'll tell her not to do that. But I don't understand. Why are you guys letting Lorena do it to Luis? That's a bigger case. That's your guys' case. It's the New Mexico case. And he says, Luis ain't no carnal. We can't let somebody tell on a carnal. It's bullshit. I know it is. Luis still got feria. Luis still got things going on. I'm through. I don't got shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to death row. I'm just another fucking sucker. I'm done. Can't offer shit no more. Whatever. So I'm there. I tell Maruka, don't flip. Let's see what we could get. What kind of case we got. And she's telling me, Pat Guitry says, there's nothing. She's already read the paperwork. There's no case against me. They don't have nothing on me. We're good. You know what I mean? So I don't know how long later. I don't know. Maybe another month or so. I get pulled out again. This time they take me down. Same shit. This time I don't give a fuck where I'm going. Right? I think they told me it was a medical. I was going to medical. But when I go, once I see them, I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to listen. You know what I mean? I sit down, I'm like, what's up? I ain't need no burritos. I'm not talking to them. I just, what? This time they had a phone call from the day before where Tyson's on the phone telling the vatos on the calles, handle that shit on Thomas. Alan Simpson, the lawyer. Now, yeah, Alan Simpson was either, yeah. So I'm on the phone. He's on the phone saying, hey, take care of that shit on Thomas, right? Maruka lived in West Chicanos barrio. She lived on 59th and Thomas, or 63rd or something, Thomas. So the placa said, we're pretty sure that's her. So that was it, bro. You know what I mean? She had just had the baby was just born, my son. I'm going to death row. Now you're going to kill my girl. And I did all this for that? This is what I deserve? So I'm just like, all right, go grab her. Put her somewhere safe. And I'm through. Well, what's up? Now, and that was the end, bro. They got on their little walkie-talkie things. At that time, there were phones that they would push buttons and they could talk to each other. It would do some shit and they could talk. And they go, grab her. They were already ready, bro. They got her, they threw her, they put her in a hotel in Scottsdale. And I couldn't believe it, bro. I couldn't fucking believe it. And I stayed in the pod still for about 6 months. I told Chino what happened. Chino was pissed. Casper was pissed. Like, what the fuck? Chino was mad, bro. I remember. Chino told me, like, bro, you're doing the right thing. You gotta go. I'll go with you. It was crazy, man. And that was it, man. That betrayal was too much. I couldn't allow it. You're not gonna let me sit on death row and kill Maruka and leave my son a bastard after everything I did. And I'm supposed to what? Stay hard, stay down for this? And so that was it. I was through. I said, fuck it, I'm done. And I still remember that they tried to get me to like do jailhouse snitching type shit. They'll pull me, how they getting the dope in. And I was like, I ain't got nothing to say about none of that. I remember the fucking, the prosecutor got mad. Hey, he asked you a question. I go, I don't give a fuck what he asked me. I'm not here to be no fucking jailhouse snitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're talking about this other stuff. Now, I'm not saying that, we're talking about me, but what I did. Like, we're doing our thing, but you ain't going to use me up in here like this. And really, it was selfish reasons. I was getting high. Shit, I don't want to fuck that off. That's the damn truth, to be honest. But that was the end for me, bro. That betrayal, it was like, what the fuck, man? I don't even have a say, a vote, nothing. And I didn't even make a deal, bro, for me. Well, it was crazy. I didn't make no deal. I thought I was still going to end up doing the rest of my life. I was pretty sure I wouldn't get the death penalty. But I thought I was going to get the rest of my life. I just wanted her safe. Her and my son somewhere safe. That's it. That was it. It was stupid. I remember my lawyer was kind of mad that... but yeah, I just wanted her. And what's crazy is, I think a day or two later, I called her. And she told me her mom told her that two vatos came to the house, knocked on the door, and they said that they were private investigators for a lawyer. They needed to speak to her. But that they were dressed like cholos and shit. They were just gangsters. They had been sent there, you know what I'm saying, for that shit. And And I was like, what the fuck? Why wouldn't they at least dress up to at least make it look real? You know what I'm saying? If she was there, she ain't gonna come out to that shit. But yeah, them motherfuckers went over there and and uh and yeah, they went over there and they dressed like cholos, saying they were some lawyer's private investigator that need to talk to her. Uh, yeah, it was crazy. But that's the story, bro. That was it. I mean, some people knew it. Some people were, but some people heard that bullshit that I was just some weak motherfucker that couldn't do the time, so I flipped. It's bullshit, man. We were there for almost a year and a half before this even happened. I wasn't flipping. I wasn't walking. I didn't care. We were there. That's what it was. I thought I could beat it, actually. Probably, maybe. They didn't have shit. No witnesses, no blood, no nothing. Nothing. No forensics, nothing. They didn't have nothing. They had been trying to get me on that shit for a while. Every chance they got, they talked to me about these fucking murders. And I would just laugh. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Until Dreamer got me to talk about them. And once that happened, they thought they had me. And I wasn't sure. I was like, man, I could go in there and say, I'm just trying to be cool. I'm just acting like I did all that shit. I didn't do that. What do you got? They got nothing. That's how I thought. I mean, maybe. That's how we all think. We think we can beat all these fucking charges we get hit with. You know what I'm saying? I probably would have been found guilty. You know what I'm saying? But I had no plans to go walk away. You know what I'm saying? Like I had no plans. Motherfuckers, fuck. It was crazy. That opened my fucking eyes. You know what I mean? I was like, what the fuck? Pablo made me. Pablo was the carnal that fucking put his hands up for me. He used to get on the phone with my girl the first time before we were in for this case, because she would get the three ways. And he'd be like, hey, mija, how you doing? I'm here for you if you need any. When I told her, bro, because I remember I called her and I said, hey, I'm done. I'm through. When they got her and they took her to the hotel, they put me on the phone with her. And I said, ya estufa, I'm through. I remember she said, what the fuck are you talking about? Are you crazy? That's exactly what she said to me. She couldn't fucking believe it. And I said, man, Pablo was they were trying to get you whacked, man. She started crying, bro. She's like, why would he do that to me? He always acted like he was like a father to me. Like she couldn't believe it, bro. She was fucking like, what? Like she cried, bro. It was crazy. Oh man. But that was the story. Yeah. Yeah, Kid DG, the lawyer, man. He was like, you should have called me. We could have made a great deal. I didn't have no plans, bro. I didn't know. I was just like, I just didn't want her to die that day. That was it. It's crazy. Can't see these words coming in. Lost a long time ago, along with everyone else that eventually turned. Yeah. Yeah, Steve. Hold on real quick, guys. Spencer. Órale, my bad. where we at? What year was that? Yeah, I'm still with her, bro. She she stuck with me for the fuck what I ended up doing. They gave me 188 months, which was 16 years, 8 months. I mean 15 years, 8 months. And I got 10 years flat in the state too. He ran him concurrent. I think I had to give him like four. I had to give him like 14. But yeah. She when I got out, I moved in with her and my son. The good thing, bro, she kept me in my son's life throughout. Like I would call and she would be like, "Ask your dad." He would be like, "Dad, can I go stay the night at my friends?" You know, shit like that. Like I didn't have no say. But she did that for me just so that me and him could just so that we could have that relationship. You know, where are we at? What year was that? 2003. Guy Murdoch is when it well, yeah, 2003 was when that happened. I didn't leave Madison. I didn't get moved out of there until 2004. And that's when they shot me over to the CCA. Yeah. Vengeance flows through my veins. Yeah, you ain't bullshitting. I wanted to, the thing was, is like, I thought about it. Can I make a stand? You know what I'm saying? There was no way. What could I fucking do? You know what I'm saying? Like, there was no, I couldn't go back and be like, you motherfucker. What was I going to do? Can't kill them all. We're all locked down. There was nothing. It was done. It was over. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was, what I like though is Big Casper and Chino. Both were, when I told them about it, they kept the secret. Like, they didn't, like, I told them about it. I didn't tell them that I was through and all that. And I just told them, and they were furious, bro. They were like, what the fuck? Because, again, Maruka became close friends with Casper's Ruka Lorena and with Chino's Ruka Melissa. They were all real good friends. And we had all gotten real close. When I told them about that shit, it was fucking crazy. But yeah, that was 2003. Yeah, Geronimo, right? People that spoke the truth always said you were solid. You made the right decision because now look what you're doing. Yeah. When did you renounce? I never really, I never had to officially renounce, bro, because I was never validated. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't officially renounce. I was just done. You know what I'm saying? And I never ended up going back to DOC either. I went to the feds, and they don't do that. So I've never had to do a pronounce type debrief, and I didn't have to do that in the end, Jojo. But but I guess you could say I walked away finally. I made up my mind 2003. I didn't actually leave that pod um, till 2004, and still nobody knew that I had. Everybody suspected when they moved me to the CCA, but I was still writing. Everybody thought everything was good. They just thought that the placas were, because at that time that whole thing was happening with the trigger stuff. So they thought they moved me over there trying to play games with that trigger stuff. I let them believe that too. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't gonna, but yeah. And then I stayed over there at the CCA, and eventually, everyone figured it out. Yeah, that's right. The víboras. I mean, that's what I'm saying. They became what they pretended like the others were. Yeah, this is live, Johnny John. We're 3 hours in. Wow. Oh man. Yeah, I've just never told that story because it's not easy. So that's why That's why it took so long. Where are we at? When did you? Anything I regret? Fuck, Jesse. Yeah, of course. I fucking regret it all now. I went in stupid. And my eyes weren't open to it. Where are we at? True heartbreak, giving yourself and only to be betrayed all over the night. Yeah, they are. It's all the same. Dan Craig, I remember you and all the stories I have heard about you and the schema that you gave to the least one, but I often wonder what caused you to walk away. Yeah, that was the end. I couldn't do it. Um, there's some that I can't rap about, but never mind. I did a lot. I did a lot. Who's in charge now, Johnny John? Ruben Melendez is considered the metal and has been since like 1992 or something like that. Yeah, they made that deal, Manny. They made a deal. If Luis, Pablo, and Crow all took the triple life sentences, then Felipe and Indio would only get I think 18 or 16 years. Lorena would get cut loose. Richie Rich, I can't remember what he got, but yeah. In the end, she was released. She was let out because of their plea bargains. There are more club members with honey than you do with vinegar. Kid teaching. Yeah, I don't think they care, bro. That's the problem. Is there any Víboras still around? Um, Not really. Nah, it's pretty much gone. I mean, the only one that you would consider still would be Pete. But I mean, Pete Boy's he's a carnal for California too. So, um, but I mean, he was made in Arizona also with the old. So he would be the only one that you'd consider really still, I guess, active maybe, but not. There's nobody left. There was a homie talking about you in 2015 saying you were still active and had got your wings clipped, but were back on. Nah, that never. Nah, by 2015, I was through, bro. I heard you folded because you told his cuff up for a celly and you saw Warrior Boy looking at you through the glass. Anthony Johnson. Yeah, that was part of it too, bro. I forgot to mention that part. Yeah, Robert. Nah, I mean, it came from Pablo. I never really liked that dude anyway, to be honest with you. We got in a big ass argument in there when we were drunk one night. I didn't like him. That didn't change anything. I'm glad you did what would raise your son, bro. He's your blessing. Absolutely, Francisco. That's right. Snake in the grass right there, period. As much as you gave them a loyalty, they turn on you. Yeah. I don't know all that happens. You cricket, I really admire your courage, bro. I think Ruben in Central. Huh? Jojo? What'd you say? Ruben's not in Central. He's in Ohio. Where was Dickie Cisneros from? I don't know, bro. I don't know that name. I never heard that name. Yeah, they didn't make her. She never had to because they didn't go to trial, Manny. They actually let her out. She was out. They put her back in because she went out there to New Mexico to one of his court dates, and they locked her up because the cops got on the stand and were translating phone calls that Luis was making to her. He was having her do stuff for him, and so she she so they locked her up, and that's what put her back in. But she was out. They had let her out on the bracelet. She just messed up and kept like he was having her do stuff, so they got her. But yeah, so she never had to end up telling it. Yeah, absolutely. Um, I think she did what they called the free talk, like went in there and they thought a lot of the stuff she was telling them was lies. Says, yeah, I'm still beef with the BB. I don't know, Jesse Rodriguez, to be honest with you. I haven't even asked about that situation. I really haven't. But you know, it was the new evil to us, yeah. So pretty much your whole Fed time was in SEG for safety. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, not SEG. It was different housing that they would just do, but the feds don't really give a damn, bro. They don't. They didn't. I mean, they didn't really know much. I mean, as far as I thought. I mean, they didn't because I was never validated or nothing. I don't think they. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I never crossed paths with anybody that I wasn't throwing my name out there too much either. So I was just doing my time. What did I eat? I haven't ate yet. I need to, man. I'm fucking hungry. What was Pablo at the time? A lieutenant? No, Pablo was a captain. He was one of the five captains that sit at the mesa, and he was probably the highest ranking captain at that time. Simon right there, yes, I kept telling you guys I was gonna do it. I get caught up talking about other stuff, and that's why I figured right now was as good a time as any. Oh, is that right? That's cool, Manny A. I met her. I mean, she was cool. I mean, it was her dude. That's not nothing's on her. You know what I mean? But yeah, she ended up all good. Yeah, Simone Jojo will. Do you think the ones you took out visit you? I don't, G Rocker. I don't believe in ghosts, and I don't think anybody visits me. Right on, Smoke. Check it out. Órale, Robert Martinez. Ya sabes. Have a good night, bro. John Doe, 4020, 420. Órale, we're over 3 hours. I'm going to shut this down. Uh, it's about that time. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it. See you guys on the next one. We'll wrap tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll come on to that other platform so I can put that link on here, and some of you guys could come on and rap. Uh, so until tomorrow, you guys have a good night. 3 hours, bro. 3 hours and 10 minutes. Got late. Gunner, a solid homie. Take care. Yeah, I don't know him. I've seen some of his stuff. It's all good. I ain't tripping. What other things, especially about you taking your family first? Yeah, I mean, what could I do? Honestly, I mean, there's nothing I could do. All right, good night, Mr. Roboto, Ty 602, ya sabes, salute, Jojo, Arizona, Oscar Ledesma, good night, Kid DG, another one, good night, brother. Nah, Joe, he got you fooled, John Doe. All right, man, you guys have a good night. I appreciate everybody for being here. What's up, Damian Vargas? I'm gonna get this, hit that like, fellas, railroad right on, brother. Thank you. Um, Everybody have a good night, man. We'll be back tomorrow, and that's the end of this. Shakur Stevenson is a bad man. He whipped out fool hearing the whole fight. I appreciate your story. My prayers for you. Gracias, Francisco. Right on. Good night, Geronimo. Ya sabes. Órale. I'm ending this now. Sorry, guys. If we'll talk tomorrow. John Dope.